Are you in the market to buy a sub 4 meter vehicle? Well, the segment is quite confusing, it has full of choices, and yes, it is also the most versatile segment. The latest to enter the segment is the Honda Amaze. The other sedan to look out for is the Maruti Suzuki Dzire.
So representing the hatchbacks are two of the most popular cars from the segment, the Maruti Suzuki Swift and the Hyundai Elite i20.
Now for the compact SUVs, we have the Vitara Brezza, the Nexon and the EcoSport. Now the decision for you as the buyer gets even more complex because there's a whole range of body styles here. But what we are here to help you with is pick out the highlights of each of these models so you find it easier to pick the one that suits you the most. So let's begin with the newest car here, Honda's second generation Amaze. Now this new Amaze truly pulls an ace on the compact sedan segment because this is the only car in this segment to come with a diesel CVT automatic. What this means is that all the other cars are diesel AMTs that are available in the market right now. And while people complain about the jerky nature of AMTs, it's a matter of time before you get used to it. But nonetheless, so because it's a CVT, it's that much more smooth to drive than a diesel AMT automatic. And that really gives this car a major advantage over its competition right now. As for the setup, Honda's detuned the engine slightly because diesels have higher torque and this is a CVT gearbox. So while paper figures are down, while you're driving, it doesn't feel underpowered at all. There's plenty of power at all times. And overall, it's nice. The engine is a little loud, but that's because it is an all-aluminum head and block, which means the unit's lighter, it's more efficient, but the downside is that the noise is higher.
Coming to the cabin comforts, I would say it's very spacious. The quality is also fairly decent. Even though the competition now, they have also improved their interior qualities, but still being a Honda, it will definitely last longer. One very important thing for me is comfort of the seat, and the seats are very comfortable, and especially the seats in Amaze, they provide very good lower back support. There's an additional cushion there. Rear comfort is something Honda has also given a lot of importance to. The seats in the back, they're comfortable, provide good under-thigh support. There's a lot of breathing space for leg, so you have decent knee room and leg space at the same time. The Amaze also has the biggest boot space in its segment, so if you're going on a retail therapy, this is the car to go for.
So while the Honda Amaze has become more competent than ever before, the Dzire continues to be a force to reckon with. So we're in the Dzire now, and I really like the way they've laid the interiors out. The top section is black, so dust and everything settles well and it doesn't look dirty. The forward actually looks nice, if you can say that. The lower section, beige, lends a very airy appeal to the cabin. So overall, everything feels nice. The seats are decent enough, and even the door pads look good. And then there's the question of space. There's plenty of cabin space, both at the front and at the back. And that really makes this compact segment very valuable from a value for money perspective. Because these sedans are so comfortable and so spacious that there's really no compromise here, trust me. Even the boot space, I mean, it's bigger than the compact SUVs. And you can go on your long road trips without a fuss at all.
So this is the petrol AMT, but I think both the petrol and diesel engines, they offer excellent drivability. I mean, and Maruti's petrol, especially, I think it's one of the best in the segment. You can say it's the best now.
Yeah, it is the best.
The low end torque, everything. It's I think
It revs very cleanly.
Yeah.
I like that.
And the engine feels the most tractable of all the 1.2 liter petrol engine.
Absolutely. Good to drive. Even the top end is nice and punchy. I really like this engine.
It revs freely, and the sound it makes, it's really amazing.
Yeah, sounds nice.
And now we come to the gearbox though, because this car is mated with the 5-speed AMT, right? And I prefer manual to it. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the manual combined with this engine, petrol, oh my god, it's a fantastic car to drive. Even the diesel manual feels great to drive. It's actually fun to drive car. The AMT is the one you go for if you are more comfort-oriented buyer, if you drive in the city all the time. Yeah, people say AMTs are jerky, and it is. But you know, once you drive the car for a while, you get used to it and you know how to overcome those jerks for most part. And then we come back to the features list. This Dzire is the top-end ZXi Plus, and you get all the bells and whistles. I love those LED headlights. They're so good looking. It looks very upmarket at night. The infotainment system continues to be the best. It's very easy, very intuitive to use, and the voice commands are fantastic.
Now, while the compact sedans offer more practicality, it's the hatchbacks that are more fun to drive. Now, the Swift is the latest contender in the hatchback segment, but if you want a premium hatchback, the i20, has always been the benchmark, right? At the Auto Expo, Hyundai launched the updated i20. So most of the updates are cosmetic. I mean, it's just new features and a few design changes. That's about it. But overall, the car is more or less unchanged. I mean, mechanically, it features the same engines, the same set of petrol and diesel engines.
The i20, as always, is truly a premium product. Everything feels nice and damp, even from the suspension to the buttons and to the steering wheel, everything feels premium. The leather finish from Hyundai is excellent in the segment. The steering and the gear knob, I think it's top-notch stuff. The layout, the plastics and everything is of good quality as well. So everything, all of it together comes and makes this a premium hatch to own.
Out of all the 7 cars, I think this feels the most premium.
Correct, yeah. You can bring anything to the sub 4 meter or sub 10 lakh rupee space, but the i20 really steals the show as a premium product. And it comes loaded with features. You get this split screen now here, where one side you can see what's playing on your Bluetooth, and the other side you have satellite navigation. So I think it's great. So while the i20 continues to be the undisputed leader of the premium hatchback segment, let's find out how good Maruti Suzuki's 3rd generation Swift is.
So I've been driving this car for roughly 2 months now, and I've been very impressed by it. And a lot of dynamics and the drivability, it's all thanks to the new platform, the hardtech platform. Because of that, the car is roughly 80 kgs lighter, and that's the reason why it handles well and provides very good body control.
Now, when it comes to driving dynamics, the Maruti Swift is class leading as it handles very well and takes corners at ease.
The 1st generation Swift, that was a game changer. That was a radical car for the Indian automobile industry. Simply because in the sub 10 lakh rupee segment, and in those days, there was no car that came with ABS, front airbags, climate control. These things are unheard of in this segment. And the Swift brought all of that to us. And now, Maruti gives us LED headlights. Again, a segment first for small cars, and it's great, the visibility is so good, and at night the car looks really premium because of that.
No, you're completely right. In 2005, Swift not only changed the Indian automobile industry, but also changed Maruti Suzuki's image of being a more traditional yet a practical automaker. They suddenly shifted their focus on the youth, and in the 2018 version continues to be an enthusiast car.
Now, moving on to the compact SUVs, the Ford EcoSport provides a commanding seating position and has one of the more powerful engines.
So now we are in the Ford EcoSport. This is the diesel one, which is powered by the 1.5 litre engine, which honestly is one of my favorite engines. 99 bhp of very smooth, linear pickup.
So yeah, the same thing. I mean, the engine is like fabulous. It has linear power delivery, and even the gearbox, they've improved the 5-speed. Earlier it was vague and all, but now it feels precise. So again, other improvement apart from the powertrain is the new touchscreen, and I think it's really awesome. The touch and everything, it feels like a smartphone.
This is something which the EcoSport has been lacking for a while. In some ways, they have also, I think, raised the bar.
The ride and handling balance in this car, it's probably, it's the most balanced of the lot. So I'd say that way it's sorted. So if you say ride and handling, then I'd say this one is better. But if you say just handling, so probably that the Brezza has that edge.
Yeah, so for an enthusiast, it's a Brezza. But as a complete product, yes, the EcoSport is scores higher.
So I have an EcoSport in the family. I mean, it's the first gen car. It's the EcoBoost though. But the steering, that steering is sharp and it has got a bit of heft. But this thing now, I think they've softened it a bit, probably for city usage and all. So it has lost some of its sharpness. But other than that, I think it's fine. I mean, you know, for a normal driver, like if you are driving the city, it's fine. But
Another thing we'd like to highlight about the EcoSport are the seats. They're probably the best in the segment. They're very supportive, comfortable. They're not extremely firm or soft, so they provide you very good support.
the seats are probably the best. But at the back, there's no space, as in, you know, it's quite cramped. And if you sit in the Amaze or even the Dzire, so there you get a lot more, you know, knee room and headroom.
The EcoSport's biggest rival comes from Maruti Suzuki in the form of the Vitara Brezza. So let's take a look as to what the Brezza has to offer in this segment. So the highlight for the Brezza is in its handling department. There's no two ways about it. This is the best handling car here. I mean, we've driven it around race circuits, I've taken it to hilly roads, and the handling is just phenomenal. What I especially like is that there's a very mechanical feel to this car. I think it's a very good driver's car for that reason. You sort of know everything that's going on. You can feel all the little vibrations where it matters, and it's great. I know the downside is that the NVH levels are high, but I guess there's a sacrifice between this and that. So I would commend it for that. The way Maruti set up this 1.3 for the Brezza is also great.
So yeah, of course, handling it's his main highlight, like you said. But I think because of that, the suspension is quite stiff. And if you are sitting at the back, it gets really bouncy there. It's the best value for money proposition here, like among all the SUVs. First, it's priced really well, and this top-end variant comes loaded with like all the features. Like you have automatic headlamps, projector headlamps especially, and you have automatic wipers. So again, feature-wise, it feels quite premium, right?
Yeah, it does.
While the Brezza continues to be the best-selling compact SUV, you can't count out the Tata Nexon, as it is a more rounded product.
I've been driving this car around town as well as on the highway and expressway, and I think Tata has done a commendable job with this new 1.5-litre diesel engine. The power delivery is very well spread out, even from 1000 RPM onwards, just before the turbo comes on song. There is decent power delivery, and close to 2000 RPM onwards you take off, and there's always plenty of power. The gearbox is nice and light, so it's a good fun car to drive. Another thing I'd like to commend Tata about is the interior plastics and build quality and the layout of everything in general. There's black plastic on top, there's silver accents here, there's grey below, so it looks nice, it looks modern, and Tata has really put in a lot of effort to make this car feel as good as it should. Yeah, there are a lot of nice touches, like, you know, there are premium car-like features here, if I may say that. You turn off your engine, you can still operate your power windows, the system's still playing music. So these are nice things, these are nice touches that, you know, go a long way sometimes.
I think it's quite a well thought out car. They haven't overlooked the comfort factor as well. The seats are quite comfortable, they provide decent support. They are slightly on the spongier side, but you don't sink into them.
And even moving on to the back of the car, you know, the seats, there's plenty of space actually.
After driving these 7 cars, these are the top 3 we have. The i20 is the most premium car in the sub 10 lakh segment. It has all the features, it is spacious, it even drives well, it handles decent. All in all, it's the most complete car in the segment.
And the second car on the list is the Dzire. You see, the reason it has made it here, it's because it's a clear step up from the old car. And then on top of that, it comes loaded with features. The interior layout is probably among the best here. It rides and handles beautifully, and I think that explains why it's in the top 3.
It's fun to drive, it looks great, it's cool, trendy, everything that the youth wants today. And for that reason, I think the Swift is also a very strong contender here. So while that is our professional opinion, now it comes to the big one, the personal decision. Which car do we like the most? For me, I would have to go with the Swift. Reason being, I mean, yes, the i20 is more powerful, but to me, a car is as much about handling and balance as it is about performance. So on that front, as an enthusiast, I love the way the Swift rides.
If I had to put my money on one car, it's going to be the i20 because it feels the most premium, and I think the ride and handling is decent. It's not that bad as it used to be.
I completely agree with Shivank. i20 is the car to buy. He's already mentioned that it's premium, but I would also say that it's very spacious inside, and that is very important. And when it comes to features, you can't beat Hyundai. So yes, i20 is the one for me.
So there you have it then. As per our personal choices, the i20 turns out to be the winner here. That said, you probably are wondering why none of these compact SUVs are here in the winners list. Well, the answer to that is very simple. In this compact space, it's very difficult to engineer a butch product. And when you do that, there's little space. So these cars, the sedans, have the most comfortable rear seats and the most boot space. So as a result, the overall package standpoint, we've left out the compact SUVs here. And when it comes to the matter of ground clearance, I think realistically, all these cars have very good ground clearances, and that's all you really need.
So if you have any comments or you do not agree with that opinion, mention it below in the comment section.
And to read the full review, do grab a copy of our magazine or log on to autox.com.
Also, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel.